Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start and go through this again. We looked through this before spring break, but now that we're kind of in it and we've talked about each piece, I want to show this to y'all again a little more in depth. So you know your goal will be to reach 1,000 views in that time frame that I've given you. So the goal here is obviously to go viral and to get promoted by BuzzFeed. And then in order to do that, you have to make your plan, which is what you're doing between today and tomorrow. So you have all been on the BuzzFeed page. You've seen all these crazy things. I can't remember who asked me, like, I can't do a topic. I think it was in my other section. She said, I can't do a topic that's never been done because there's literally everything that's ever been talked about on BuzzFeed. And I said, right. So your goal is to probably try and fit within one of those categories so that you are kind of in the same wavelength as the BuzzFeed people and you're talking the same and you write your stuff the same and it feels like it's supposed to be there because that's how they'll promote you. Um, so you're going to do this week your target market. You're going to tell me what your target market is, your primary and your secondary. And then you're going to have your ideas and your list of promotion. So you'll probably need to go ahead and tell me what your topic is and all that good stuff. That should be pretty fairly easy. Um, is anybody working in a group? Okay, I'll take that as a no. Um, So then after that, I'm going to look at over the weekend. I'll be sending you some feedback. And then I want you to start thinking about actually creating your article and your marketing plan, which is that little spreadsheet. I've uploaded a new one. Ray and I were talking about it, but right here, BuzzFeed marketing plan. This will be, you can like delete their stuff and add in your stuff, but this is a good template and a good starting place. So I've given you templates for all of these things. Um, and then you will actually do your campaign between the 22nd and May 4th. And then you'll send me a final traffic count, and I'll show you how what that kind of looks like in a minute. And you'll actually show me and talk to me about what you learned, how you equated it to class, and you'll do like a little 5-minute presentation in a video. And then I'm going to post those, and I'll give y'all some more details about that, like where to post it and all that good stuff. And then you'll be able to watch some of your classmates' videos so that you can kind of see like what other people did. So, how are we going to do this? Does anybody not have a topic?
I don't.
Okay, so hopefully this will help you kind of start thinking. Um, Anybody have a topic they want to share with me or the class, I guess?
I'm
Awesome.
gonna do the 10 challenges from athletes that you should try.
Okay, so she's gonna do like what is it? 10? Are you gonna do 10 challenges?
Yes.
Okay, so 10 challenges from athletes. So do you have an example? I know you just started eating breakfast. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. For example, um, actually, I don't know the names of it. I just can describe the one that is like couple challenges.
Okay, so there'll be all these things that you can try that athletes are like challenging you to do. So she's gonna go through and make this list of 10. There'll be pictures associated with each one and like a description. So any of these things that you pick, any of these topics, you have to decide, okay, am I going to do a list, a quiz, or an article? And you need to have somebody, like, you need to be able to feel confident that somebody can resonate with what you're saying. So I think yours makes perfect sense to me because all kinds of people will be like, well, if an athlete can do it, I want to see if I can do it. And hopefully that would help spur people along. So this talks about how you need a strong target market, either one or two. So I think you have like mass appeal for getting people to be interested in what your things are, whether it be current athletes or people who admire athletes or just people who are athletic and fit that want to see if they can like meet the challenges. And so she'll have like two pretty good target markets. You may even have a third. Um, so what makes a good target market? A passionate group, people who congregate online, whether that be fan pages, forums, Reddit, any type of Facebook group, anything on Twitter, um, anything target market specific. Like if you have um, like publications that you're aware of, or you're in an email, like you have email addresses of somebody. I'm not worried about how you promote it. That sounds bad. I'm worried about how you promote it, but you may have a topic that's more relevant to something else that's not super social media based, and that's okay too. So one of my topics for my other class is going to do like, can you guess who said this from the TV show Friends? Well, people who like Friends are like crazy psycho people, because I'm one of them, because I love Friends. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna get 100 on your quiz. Like, I want to take it right now. And so, if you can find something like that where people like have a cult following of some sort, then you'll be well on your way to like getting people to want to share your article. So,
I have a question.
yes,
What is widget?
widget.
There is I see on the example I saw on the example sheet
Uh-huh.
that you post the article on Reddit, REDD.
Oh, Reddit.
Yes,
Yeah.
Reddit.
So Reddit is like this forum of people. You'll have to Google it and look at it. It's hard to explain, but like they have be these big threads associated with different topics, and then the way that you here, let me pull it up. The way that you get your stuff seen is people can like upvote. They call it upvoting your thing. So like you see this little arrow right here.
But how do we? I did it and I searched. And how do you post something? I didn't understand that.
You have to get in a thread. So like if you get in a let's see. So every one of these little things is like its own little community. So you got to go into one of these communities and you have to join, and then you'll be able to post your stuff and get it upvoted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great question. So, okay. Let's look here. So your headline is super important, right? So that's the only way you're going to be able to get people to click on what you have to say. So in your example about the athletes, what your title is 10 challenges for whatever. And so she may write 10 challenges of things we bet you couldn't do. Only real athletes can do these 10 things. Like she may have all these different versions of her headline. And then the goal here would be, hopefully you're going to like ask around, and you might ask your teammates, you may ask other people like, okay, which one would you click on first? And part of one of those little sections that you're going to fill out is your headlines and what your backup plan is so if you are finding that your people aren't clicking on your thing and you're like, I don't know what to do, this is weird, nobody's liking what I'm saying, you may change your headline. And so headlines that make a promise, and the headline gets somebody to click, right? But then once they're there, you want them to share it, right? You want them to read it and then share it. That's how you're going to find success here. So your content has to be good. So you may have the best headline in the world, but the words have to be good. It has to sound good. It has to be interesting to the people who are clicking. So 19 unbelievable real life kitchen transformations. Well, if I click there and I don't see unbelievable real life kitchen transformations, I'm going to click out, or I'm not going to share it. So just kind of think about how you kind of have to have all the pieces to the puzzle. If you remember when we talked about product development, we talked about how you have to do everything right in every way. And so this is that. So this is a really good connection to what we've talked about in class, is like we have to execute it. So you may have a great idea, but now we have to execute it. Readers should know what emotion to expect from your headline. So we just learned this last week. Advertising uses a lot of emotional appeals, whether it's humor, whether it's happiness, whether it's something that pulls at your heartstrings. And so make sure your content delivers on that promise. So if it says these are unbelievable transformations, that gives me the emotion of like, oh, that's so cool, I want to see it, I feel excitement. And then if I get there and it doesn't deliver on that excitement, then it's not going to be worth sharing. Positive emotion is generally a lower risk, right? So it just makes sense that we would probably want to stick to things that are positive, unless you have something. Remember the example I had with the student who unfortunately had a child that had cancer. Well, she had a really amazing support group that helped her through that, and that was one of the things that she did for her project. And so I'm not saying that negative topics are off limits, but most of you will gravitate towards something positive anyway. So here's our promotion list. This is what's due Friday. If you remember over here, there is an Excel spreadsheet example right here for you. So download that. You can look at the stuff that's there, delete their information, and add in your information. Has anybody started? Good. Okay. It's not terrible, is it? No. Okay. Remember how I said this is how you show me your work, right? So in math, when you show how you got your answer, that's what we're doing here in marketing. You're showing me your work. What this is going to allow me to do is read your plan and go, okay, I know where they're headed. I get the plan. I see this is their blueprint. And then I can look at it and see how successful are you going to be. If you don't have enough things here, remember how this is our estimated views if you're successful. So you may enter a group that has 17,000 people and you're hoping to get 300. Well, if you don't get enough percentage of each of your marketing channels that you think by your estimation that you think you're going to get, if that doesn't equal over 1,000, well, you probably need to find some more marketing channels or a different topic. So, any questions there?
I have a question.
Okay, good. That's what today is all about. So this is good.
On this example, it says Reddit doesn't like BuzzFeed articles. What does that mean? Like, because I want to create my article on BuzzFeed, but then I want to post it on Reddit.
So it's just saying you may not get an upvote if you're posting from BuzzFeed, but when I got on their homepage just now, there were plenty of BuzzFeed articles I just saw. So I think that that's just there. Remember, this is your justification or your notes that are kind of in your head. I thought I heard a little person. But they're just saying, hey, this is a good community. It's an easy thing to share, but I also know that BuzzFeed posts don't get upvoted as much, but that doesn't mean that it won't. It's just saying like, I have 17,000 members, but I'm probably not going to get a huge chunk of them just because it's from BuzzFeed. So it's not like an empty effort, but it is something to just make note of.
Okay.
Cool. So any other questions on this? This is due tomorrow. Any questions there? Okay. That means y'all all understand it and everybody's good. Great. All right. So after tomorrow, be looking over the weekend for me to send you some feedback on what you send me. Then you're going to need to start planning how you're going to put this together. And you may have already started. Let me show you what BuzzFeed looks like. So I created my account. I just went into their homepage. I hit sign in and it was like, if you don't have an account, click here. So I created an account. It sent me a verification email. And then I went in and you can start building your article. And so this is pretty easy to use, guys. Like I was clicking around. It's not hard. So you go in here, you put your title of your article. So I'm going to do 10 reasons why this project is awesome, because it's awesome. And then I'm going to do your description. You can format this here. You can do bold. You can put it in italics. It's going to write the code for you. See all these weird little things happening? That's the BuzzFeed way. That's how BuzzFeed's helping you write your website so that you're not having to like learn how to do coding and all that crap. So your title, you're going to do images. You can either save all of your images. My recommendation would be to probably write everything down in a Word document, like your actual wording content, and then decide which pictures, so that all you have to do is come in here and drag and drop this in here. So you can add text, you can add an image, you can embed. So like if you have a link or a YouTube video, like if you have challenges that are already on YouTube or something, then you may just want to embed the link right here, and then it would put the video there for you instead of you, or you may want to make your own videos. You may do your own videos and then you want to embed it. It doesn't matter to me how you do it. If you take something from a website, and we're going to talk about where to get stuff that's copyrighted and copyrighted, so you can just drag and drop and use it. But if you take something that's not, it's like from YouTube or somewhere else, when you come in here for your text, you need to add the attribution of where you got your video or your picture. If you're doing a quiz, you can come in here and it gives you all these different options of what kind of questions you want to ask. So you just build everything right here. Now, up here at the top are these 3 links: how to make a post, how to make a quiz, and how to create an image. And those are the links that I put at the top of your module right here. 1, 2, 3. So we'll walk through those. So I'm not going to read this to you because I don't know what you're picking. You may pick a quiz. If you pick a quiz, read through the quiz one. If you pick an article, read through the article one. But this is like the ultimate guide to doing exactly what we're doing. So it talks about all the things you need to do, including read their community guidelines. It'll show you what I just showed you, which is like how to create your content. It says use a desktop or a laptop. I had students last semester trying to do this from their phone. That's crazy. Just use a real computer. That will be helpful so that you can see how it looks. You can do different types of lists. So over here, it had, if you're going to do a list of things, like your 10 things, you would actually click this numbered list and it's going to number it for you. So that's nice. If you decide later you want to rearrange, you can actually use these little arrows to switch them and it should renumber them for you. So you're not having to manually do all of that. So just depending on what you're making is what you're going to need from this. So you'll write your title and your description. You'll create your post. There's a way over here to preview your stuff. So as you start to build, if you want to see how it looks, you can actually go in here and preview and have it all perfect before you publish it. You're going to want to publish it before you send it to me so that it's public. So you can read through this. This is how you make a quiz. So if you're doing a quiz, I would check this out. But it'll talk to you about how to add your questions, how to add images the same way. So this is like literally step by step of how to do exactly what we're doing. And then this is the thing that I think everybody's going to need to know, which is the guide to photo resources. So for your pictures, you need to make sure that you're not using stuff that's copyrighted. So this is going to show you how to add photos. So if you're doing a quiz and like you want a picture, like 2 pictures here, you would just click that little logo there and then go in and it would let you search images and you can actually upload your own images. And then here's one of the websites. This is called Giphy. You can go in here and look for anything in the whole wide world and get a GIF of it. So you can save these and then put them in your BuzzFeed thing. And this is a really good way to do stuff. So if you're doing Friends, look at all these GIFs that are from the TV show Friends. My goodness, it goes on and on. So whoever, the student that picked that, he's going to have a really easy time finding content because there's stuff everywhere. Any questions on that? Are y'all with me? Are y'all quiet because you understand and you're tired of me talking about it, or are you quiet because it's early in the morning?
I have a question.
Yes.
It might be, I don't know if the others know, but I'm not that good in technological things.
Okay.
You know, when you post a link, you have the link and then an image like the, I don't know even how it's called, like the first thing you see before you click on the link, the images that you see in a little rectangle. How do you create this one, or how do you choose which picture you put in this?
You may have to send me a screenshot of what you're talking about.
Okay.
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 I can't visualize what you're asking me. But if you have trouble, just shoot me a message. Okay. All right. And then the other one here is Flickr Commons. So if you don't want moving pictures and you want regular pictures, there's some other sites down here. Wikimedia Commons, anytime it says Commons, it usually means you don't have many copyright laws. So what will happen, remember your goal here is to get BuzzFeed to pick up your article. And so to make sure that all of these guidelines are followed is super important, because if you have a copyright infringement in your article, number one, it's against the law. And number two, you've got to they don't want that out there. They're not going to promote that. So make sure that you are crediting everybody correctly. So if you use Flickr Creative Commons, it's going to show you how to credit it. I need all of that to look and be done correctly. Cool? Great. Okay, so we're going to keep going here. So then next week is your URL. This is the super important part, right? It's got to be all done and ready to go, and your marketing plan. So when we say marketing plan, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions. So there's 8 things you have to fill out. That is it. This is not some crazy strategic plan that we've looked at in class, like my 17-page communications plan from the city. This is not that. This is you, once again, showing your work. Your different headlines will be here. Remember at the beginning of class, I talked about headlines and how you may decide to change your headline. That is all going to be right here. So you'll take your primary and your secondary audience from the thing you're doing this week, pop it in here, and then you're just going to explain to me why you're doing what you're doing and how you're going to hit 1,000. Are there any questions here? Okay. So we just looked at this, but this PowerPoint will walk you back through how to do your post, so how to get stuff in there. It's recommended that you use what we call a pseudonym. So like, don't say your username as Reagan Harris. I would do like something related to your topic. So you may do SFA athlete or something, or tennis player, French tennis, but I don't know, whatever, because you want it to seem a little bit more accessible than your name. And that will help you feel like, you know how if you feel like you're sharing something that's not really yours, you want people to share it. So we want to kind of be a little bit more generic than like what our name is. Shh, be quiet. My dog is barking. So then whenever you're uploading, that you will eventually see this community post and you see this suggest for community feature, you're going to want to click that, because that will tell BuzzFeed, oh, hey, this person wants to be featured on our page. This is how you're going to hit like go viral. If you want to go viral, this is one of those steps that you've got to take. So you can submit 1 post a day to their community editors to be featured. This is how the student last semester that went viral got her Grinch article viral, because she had it suggested to the BuzzFeed people and they featured it on their webpage. So make sure you click that. You're going to want to connect with your audience. So use words and verbiage that's related, that's easy to understand. If you haven't read some BuzzFeed articles and you haven't looked at the way that they talk and the way that they say things, do that so that you can kind of get in that headspace of like how to phrase things, how to write, what this is. It's pretty casual. It's supposed to be fun. So this isn't some like official crazy thing. Longer lists are good. So if you are building something that has a list, the longer ones are okay. And then images that are custom. So any of these things that make sense. So y'all know when you've read these articles and you really like one, it's usually because the image matches the content perfectly. So make sure you kind of take that extra step to do that. You want to put your very best thing. So like your challenges from the athletes, you want to put like your best 2 at the very beginning, and then you want to finish strong, and you'll put like one of your best ones at the end too, so that the ones in the middle are the less than favorites, but the ones at the front and the back are the really, really good ones, so that people are like, okay, this is getting better, I see, and they want to keep scrolling. So be unique, be consistent, use the same formatting. I mean, you want it to look professional and good, so take your time to do it. I've talked to you about images, so I won't bore you with that. Nothing political, no attack ads. Okay, hold on a minute. I thought the kids were going to be bad. I didn't think the dogs would be bad. My God, they're like freaking out. Okay, so if you're having trouble, check your web browser. It may be best to use Chrome. I'm using Safari. I haven't had trouble, but you may start to see issues. So there may be some sort of weirdness. So you may decide to switch web browsers. And then when you launch your campaign, we don't want you to say, this is for a class, please click on my thing. Let's not beg. Let's not tell them it's for an assignment. Let's not tell them, oh my gosh, I have to hit 1,000 and this is super important. Please, please, please. You can say, hey, I wrote this article. It's really cool. Check it out. You can say, if you're doing like private channels, like you're messaging somebody or you're emailing somebody, you can say, hey, this is for an assignment, but if you're posting it in public, don't tell anybody it's for an assignment. You want this to happen organically. You want your content in your article to speak for itself. Obviously, you can't buy traffic. Don't spam people. Don't start just sending it to random people, especially like Instagram. If you start doing that, they'll turn your account off. So just be real careful. Don't do anything illegal. You can change your headline. So if you're finding that like, hey, this is really slow, this isn't working that great, you may decide to change up your headline. That's fine. You just use one of those that you send in your marketing plan. And then, as I've said before, I'm not just grading you on, oh my gosh, did you get 1,000 or not? This is not that. What this is you learning the process, showing your work. Do you have good content? Did you have a good presentation? Did you have a good plan? And then what did you learn from it? So if your plan is great and it just doesn't execute well, whatever you learn from that can still gain you points. So my point here is not to just only put a lot of emphasis on being able to 100 get your 1,000 and then stop. My emphasis here is, okay, did you learn the process and are you, stop, y'all are so annoying. Did you learn the process and are you learning, are you connecting that to the classroom? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, hang on real quick. I'm going to deal with this situation. My little doggy is super old and he like doesn't know where he is half the time. So then he gets all freaked out. It's really crazy. It's like I have extra children. Okay. Any questions? All right. Let me look at these last 3 things here. How do we get content out there that people want? People, if you ask people, hey, will you please share this? This is what I created. It's super cool. People tend to do what you ask, right? They like to help others. So just ask. Just don't tell them it's for an assignment. People want to return favors. So if you're a part of like a network or a Facebook group or something like that, and you see other people sharing stuff, if you share their stuff, they might be likely to share your stuff. So that might be one of your, like, kind of your thought process in one of your marketing channels is like, okay, I'm going to be really involved in this group so that people want to help me. And that's fine. If you find like an influencer or somebody out there that shares content all the time that's similar to yours, they may be really interested in doing that for you because they may be like, oh yeah, this fits in perfect with my brand and my image and what I always share. So let me do it. People like social proof. So if other people are sharing it, they want to share it. So that might be helpful to you. Make sure you get some feedback from your target market. So do a little bit of research. Remember we talked about market research. So this will be very casual, but let a few people read it. Let your mom read it. Let people that are in your target market read it so that they can be like, okay, I'm seeing this, but have you thought about this? Or just giving you some feedback about images or the way that you wrote something or whatever. Make sure you look and sound the same according to the norms that are on BuzzFeed. It should look like it belongs there, right? And then do the legwork that finds all the places that you're going to promote. So part of what you're doing this week is looking for places to promote your article. So if you feel like you keep coming up short and you're not finding things, you're going to have to probably go out and do some searching and look for that information. So last advice, don't be desperate, be a marketer, right? Not a spammer. We've learned all about marketing. So y'all should be able to do this very well. And then if you're in a group, make sure you carry your load. I don't know if anybody's in a group, but I will send out like a peer review at the end to group members. So if you are in a group, I'm going to make sure that we kind of talk to all the group members, because you know the type of group member that you hate that doesn't do any work and they make you do everything. Don't be that guy. Cool. All right. Any questions on that? Okay. Allison, I see you hopped on. Welcome. All right. So we're going to run through chapter 18. We're actually going to kind of frog hop chapter 16 or chapter 17, because I want y'all to think a little bit more about social media in the context of this project. Y'all did a whole unit on social media, so I know y'all know this. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this today, but I do want to kind of cover a few of the high points from chapter 18, just because it is such an emphasis area and it is very applicable to what we're doing now. So we all know what social media is. In your unit that you did, you've talked about how we use social media personally and professionally. But you've seen blogs, media sharing sites, social networks like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all that good stuff. But this has become a very big thing, as y'all can all imagine. We have social commerce that has taken place. So you can actually shop on these sites now, and it actually sends you to a website, or you can literally buy it within the social network. And so this, as you can imagine, has completely changed the way that marketers look at social media. So it allows us to have these two-way conversations with customers. It helps build brand loyalty, because if you feel connected to a brand in this consistent way, then you feel like you want to be more loyal to that brand. It helps you connect with your customers. It allows customers to connect with one another. It allows people to share opinions, so like reviews and updates on products. Hey, you can come in here. We have a little person invasion. Come here. Okay. You want to say hi to my college friends? No? Are you sure? You want to say hi? Come here. Oh. Do you see them right there? Yeah. You want to say hello? Say words. Can you say words? What's wrong? Okay. That's Reagan and Elena? No? You feel bad? Can you sit right here and do your tablet? Okay. Be really quiet for me. Well, she's not going to make any noise, so that'll be good. No, now you're interested? Okay. Whatever. So we're going to look at, we've already looked at this, right? Let's circle back to different types of media. So when we talked about advertising, we talked about owned, earned, and paid media. It's the same thing here. You can earn media coverage on social media. You can own it, like you create your own content. And then you can, of course, pay for the ability to have your stuff be seen. When y'all watch The Social Dilemma, we saw how that happens, right? You get somebody's algorithm, and these advertisers can tap into it very easily. So in social media in general, this isn't necessarily pertaining to your project, but in general, the key here is to listen first, right? So anytime you're going to initiate a marketing campaign, you want to be in this mindset of, I'm going to listen to my customers, I'm going to let them have a conversation, and I'm going to learn about what they have to say. So if you're working for a big brand or you're running some big social campaign, you want to listen and learn. So you want to monitor what people are saying and develop a strategy around that. That's too loud. Turn that way down. Thanks. Go over there. Go sit over there. I don't want to hear your game. you want to build relationships and awareness around your brand. So if you have an open dialogue with stakeholders, you're open answering questions candidly, you're being open and honest and transparent, that helps with your brand recognition. It helps people gain trust in what you're doing. You may want to talk about products or services. You may want to manage your reputation. That is 99% of what I did at the city of Nacogdoches was manage reputation. So if someone had a question, yes, we answered it. Even if it was not an answer that somebody wanted to hear, we were very, very responsive, but we let the bad conversations take place just as much as the good conversations. And that was super important for me because I felt like if we're going to be an open and honest government, we've got to be able to let people speak their mind and not control what they're saying. And then, of course, you want to improve customer service. So people will go on social media before they'll call, before they'll send a message, before they'll chat with your customer service people. This happens in NAC a lot. Like when I was at the city, somebody would be like, something really crazy is happening over here. There's a big water line leak, or there's like water spewing out from a high fire hydrant or whatever. And I would often be the first person to see it because I was monitoring it all day long. Well, I could then go, hey, we'll send somebody out. And I would be on the phone trying to call somebody. And so it was a really powerful tool because we were able to connect with customers in all of these different ways. So this is interesting to me. You have all these different people that are on social media, right? So anybody on social media, but they don't post anything, but they look at everything all the time? Anybody do that? We call those people lurkers, right? So they're the spectators and the people that are just watching what's taking place. And then you have the creators. So like I'm up here, right? So I'm always posting, I'm always sending stuff out, especially if you do this in a marketing realm, that's what you're going to do, right? So then you have people who are critical of people. So they only really say things they don't really say anything unless they are criticizing a brand or the service they got somewhere or the food at a restaurant or whatever. They're only chiming in whenever they have something bad to say. We have joiners, so people that will comment but they're not really adding anything. They may just say, oh, this is awesome, or great idea, or we love this, or they're liking and stuff like that, but they're not really sharing or actually adding value to the conversation. And then you have these people who are inactive. So they have social media sites, but they're not really using them. We've learned all of these different types of, that's gross. We've learned all these different types of social media tools. So we've got blogs, we have news sites, we have all these different things that allow us to reach people we've never reached before. And then, of course, mobile and smartphone technology that allows us to reach people. 99% of people who are on social media sites are using them on their phones. So you have to keep that in mind whenever you're creating content, because you want things that are accessible and easy to read on the phone. Just like anything else that we've done, this list should look very familiar. You want to listen to your customers. You want to set your social media objectives. You want to have strategies. So this whole strategic planning we've talked about the entire semester, that's very pertinent to social media. Social media is probably the easiest place where you can go, well, I'm just going to post a bunch of stuff and hope it all works out. If you don't have a set of objectives and a set of strategies, and you don't know who you're talking to, then it's really, really hard to know how effective you're being and if you're even doing a good job. And it's a huge time waster. So at the city, I could have literally posted my 40-hour-a-week job could have been completely made up of social media because it can be such a time suck. So having a really set idea of what you're trying to do is super important. And when y'all interview for jobs, when you get out of college, understanding this is important. So if this is something you want to go into and you think social media is really cool and that's a part of what you see yourself doing, I would really dig into either a social media class that teaches you all these things, or get yourself a really good social media strategy book or something so that you can understand, like, how am I measuring success on social media? It's not just like on this big like hamster wheel where I just post and post and post and comment and hope that it all works out. There's a strategy behind it, and you understanding that will set you apart from anybody who you're applying for jobs against. So just keep that in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you want to go into this field, they change this stuff every single day, right? So they change up the algorithms, they change up the platforms, they change up where to find stuff, they change the rules, they change stuff all the time. That's part of what makes it interesting, is that there's always some sort of new component to it. That's also what makes it really hard as marketers to keep up, because you're constantly having to figure out, okay, there's a new social network that's becoming popular. Should I use it? Should I not use it? My big advice to people, I used to tell business owners this all the time, is pick a social network that has your audience on it and do one or two really, really well. Just because Snapchat is out there doesn't mean that you need to be on Snapchat. Oh, well, there's a new thing out. I need to be on this. I need to be on that. No. It doesn't, you don't have, your brand doesn't have to be everything to everybody. Sometimes brands can just say, hey, my network, they are like middle-aged males and females. Those people are all on Facebook. I'm just going to get on Facebook and do it really, really well. And I'm not going to worry about the rest of it. The winery that I'm working with, they have Instagram and Facebook, and they had a Pinterest page. And I was like, what are you doing on Pinterest? Like, nobody's going to go to Pinterest and buy wine from a Pinterest post. That doesn't make any sense. And they were like, oh yeah, well, we just thought we had to do it. And I was like, let's not go there. Let's just do Instagram and Facebook and rock it and connect with our audience. And we don't need to worry about the rest. I would rather spend more time connecting with who I want to connect with, so they'll actually purchase the thing they need to purchase, instead of just trying to get my name out there in all these random places. Do y'all have any questions? Y'all are like extra quiet this morning. Okay. Do y'all need anything from me on your project? Okay. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I was like, is anybody here? We will meet next Tuesday. We will go over a few more things. We will meet in class. Hopefully my kids won't be hacking and disgusting by that point. And then I appreciate y'all being flexible with me this morning. I'm sorry. I have this crud. They have this crud. I didn't want to give it to anybody. So here we are. No questions. Okay. I will see you Tuesday. Holler at me if you need help. I'm like in and out a lot tomorrow. So if you need like immediate questions, send me a text or a message. But D2L, you may have a little delay with D2L. So just know that. All right. Bye, guys.